Today's live stream is brought to you by Cybrary.it. If you guys are looking for some amazing online IT training that can help you get certified, make sure you guys check out the link in the description below. Use the coupon code ITCQ50, save 50% off of that premium membership. Yo, what is going on YouTube? How's everyone doing today? Hope you're all doing well. I am, took a little convincing on my end to get me started. I was just talking about this in our Discord server that I had to turn off my music, but I actually kind of left it running. Hopefully you guys can't hear it. But yeah, I was just jamming out, having a good time, but I was like, I know I need to stream today. And today we're talking about Linux, which is exciting because WTF is up with Linux. It's everywhere. Everywhere. What the? You guys have seen it, I'm sure, everywhere. If you guys follow me on YouTube, you probably more than likely follow Dwan Lightfoot and or Network Chuck, who are both going through a Linux journey right now, and good luck to them, by the way. They are two really smart dudes, right? They're two great guys who are doing some amazing things, and they know that they need to learn Linux. They know that they need to just become more proficient in Linux. And there's a great reason for that. And the best reason I can give you is because Linux is literally everywhere. Everywhere you turn, you are running into Linux at some point, right? In some way or another. Whether you personally experience that on a daily basis, where you are utilizing Linux servers or IoT devices or not, they're all around you. So what this means for you, what we're talking about here today, why we're bringing this up, why WTF Linux, is because it is everywhere. And as an IT professional, or as an aspiring IT professional, it is highly suggested that you start learning it because it's growing. It's growing exponentially. And I remember years ago, like, I'm old, guys, like probably 20 years ago or so, when I really started kind of getting into computers, and I had older people, like my friends' parents, who were really nerdy, and they helped encourage my choice in careers, obviously, but they were all about Linux then. And they were like, Linux is going to be the next big thing, and, it's going to take over Windows, and blah, 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 blah. We heard this for years, and if you guys look on old forums and things like that, you'll see that many people have said this for a long time, that Linux is going to take over. Well, I mean, I still don't think we're at that point yet where Linux is just going to completely take over our desktop experience. We're a little bit off from that still, but Linux servers are dominating the internet. So if you look at any website that's on the internet right now, it's like over 90% of websites are hosted off of a Linux server. It's crazy, right? I just read an article, I talked about this before a few months back, that Azure now has more Linux servers on it than Windows servers. It's like over 50-something% are all Linux. And it's mind-blowing, right? Azure, it's a Microsoft thing, right? Microsoft Azure. And it's all Linux stuff. Fantastic, right? And then, of course, your IoT devices, your smartphones, they're all running some version of Linux. Anyway, the point is, there's an easy way to learn Linux. And I don't mean easy and that just it's extremely simplistic to do, right? And it's going to be difficult for some people. Some people just pick it up and go and run with it, and it's going to be great. But anybody can sit down and learn Linux. And if I show you guys this, there's links in the description below. Here we go. Look at that. Here is Virtualbox. It's free, absolutely free to download. It will let you virtualize just about every single operating system that is out there. You guys can virtualize Ubuntu, Debian, Red Hat, Kali, and of course Windows operating systems as well, as you guys can see here. You could download all of these distributions for free. You can download their ISOs for free. There's a link in the description. Download VirtualBox for free and just virtualize a distribution of Linux. Now, I know you guys are going to be like, oh my gosh, I don't know anything about Linux. I can't do it. It's just impossible. It's whatever. It's not the case. You guys, you're already on YouTube. You know that there are resources out there that can help you learn the skills, the technologies that are around today. Now, going through the setup for Linux through VirtualBox, really easy. I've done a couple videos on this. I think there's one on the Learn Cybersecurity channel talking about virtualizing Kali Linux. It's really easy process to go through just to install Linux. And we're gonna log in over here, or try to at least. I haven't logged into this virtual machine in a long time, so hopefully I remember the password. But we'll just kind of show you guys, like, it's regular kind of like desktop-ish experience. If you're familiar with the Mac operating system, then Linux shouldn't be that big of a deal for you. Let's see. Oh yeah, nailed the password on the first try. All right. I think it's thinking. It's trying to work for me here. But anyway, oh yeah, here we go. Perfect. So here is Ubuntu. This is older. This is probably a couple versions back, but I'm sure not much in the GUI has changed. But really simple. Here we have some power options. We have sound options. We have our Ethernet and wireless options here. Activities, we got nothing there right now, but we have some links here on the side. Think of this like as it would be your taskbar for Windows, which you guys can't see on the stream because it's covered up by my template there. But here's the quote-unquote start menu, if you will, right? And gives you access to all these different applications and things like that. Now, this is a great, GUI-based version of Linux. It's a very, very popular version of Linux. Everybody, I think, not everybody, most people will tell you, start off with Ubuntu. It's simple, right? Well, here's the thing. Like, I want to say hundreds. There's probably not hundreds of versions or hundreds of distributions of Linux, but there are a ton of distributions of Linux. One thing that is relatively the same across every single distribution is the terminal. So whether you pick up a copy of Red Hat, you pick up a copy of Kali, Debian, CentOS, whatever that distribution is, the terminal is relatively exactly the same across every single distribution. So that's why it's very heavily pushed to learn the Linux terminal. And you're just learning commands. Like, we could learn ls, right? Ls is just, you're listing the files and folders within a directory, right? Easy. CD, say we want to change directory to downloads. And now we want to see what's in downloads. Probably, Trinket download. I don't know what the hell that is. I have to look at that. That's weird. But anyway, these are really simple, basic commands. And what's really cool is that a lot of these commands that you learn in Linux terminal actually do or kind of correlate with PowerShell commands, right? So like I could open up PowerShell and I could do an ls, and it's going to do the same thing, right? So this is PowerShell on my Windows machine, right? So if I do an ls or of my current directory right here, it lists all the different folders and files within that directory. It's the same thing within Linux. So a lot of the stuff kind of crosses over with PowerShell, which is really nice because as you're learning either the Linux terminal or you're learning PowerShell, you'll start noticing these similarities in the commands that you can use. So it only expands and increases your knowledge within these two or multiple environments, if you will. So what I'm getting at here is learn Linux, because it's going to be something that you guys will probably utilize at some point in your life. You're going to see a lot of, of course, different Linux servers and things out there, but it's going to be really helpful for you guys to understand how the file structure works within the terminal and being able to utilize those different commands across different distributions of Linux, no matter what environment you're running into. And of course, with the IoT devices running Linux, your smartphones running Linux. Not that you'd ever really have to get into your smartphone to do anything in the terminal there, but just knowing that you could learn the fundamental knowledge of Linux in general is going to be so extremely helpful for you guys. So I know I talked about Dwan Lightfoot, I talked about Network Chuck. These guys are both going through a process of getting Linux Plus certified. That's the CompTIA Linux Plus. Uh, you guys can go follow their journey. I know Duan is updating weekly on his progress, on the things that he's learning, and I highly suggest you guys go check out his channel for sure, and just see what he, see what his process is like to learn Linux, because I think he has a really organized thought process on how he studies for certifications, how he gets prepared for them, and just his learning process in general. So again, I would highly recommend you guys check out Dwan Lightfoot's channel. I'll put a link here if I can pull it up real quick. Dwan Lightfoot. I should have something set up for this that makes it a lot easier, but hopefully this link works. If not, YouTube will cry about it. But anyway, that's kind of what I want to talk about with you guys today. Just hit you up with some Linux stuff. See if you guys had some questions. I know you guys always have questions. I love answering your questions. It's a great time. If you guys don't know, the my first official online training course is launched. It's been launched. It's ready to go. It's out there. It's if you go to itcq.tv. What's going on, Mr. Sharma? How you doing, boss? Use the coupon code ITCQ50. Save 50% off. Am I getting Linux Plus at some point? So right now, there's a few different certifications that I'm really thinking heavily on, and I want to make like the best choice that I can. I want to make a choice that fits the path that I personally am looking to take, and the Linux Plus, it's one of those that is on my list, right? It's like one of those that I think is going to help me, and I personally want to learn. Like I personally, want to say that I'm proficient in Linux and the terminal and things like that. But there's also things like AWS that are extremely interesting to me, because I know the importance of cloud technologies. I know that with the way that the industry is moving, having more experience, more knowledge within the cloud is going to be greatly helpful in any position. So this should be another stream. Talking about Linux, now we're talking about the cloud. Well, the cloud is everywhere also. So WTF is up with the cloud. And yeah, the cloud, right? The cloud, it's everywhere. It's just somebody else's computer somewhere else in the world, right? But there is a huge importance on that. Whether you're starting out in help desk, whether you're going to be in cybersecurity, whether you're going to be in networking, no matter where you're going to be in the field, the cloud, that's something that you want to look into as well. Serverless, bruh, get out. But yeah, we'll do another stream, maybe tomorrow's live stream or Thursday's live stream. We'll talk about cloud computing, learning the AWSs and the Microsoft Azures and the Google Cloud platforms. Talk all about that. What did I just read the other day? Who just moved? Is it VMware? VMware just made some deal with Google's cloud platform, which is absolutely crazy if you think about it. Mr. Sharma, you saying I should host a live stream about primarily on AWS? Yeah, I will. I think that should be one coming up that we should do it for sure. Oh, Noah, you're all good, bro. Devonte, you're almost done with your A+ studies for the test, and you'll have your IT networking certification from your local college. That's awesome, bro. Good luck. Let me see if I can. Trying to fix stuff here. When I come to the DMV area, I'll let you know. We can have a cup of coffee or lunch for sure. I don't know the next time I'll be that way. I was just out that way like a few years ago for a vacation. We stopped through and visited like the White House and all that fun stuff. It was a good time. And then we went to like the beach, one of those Carolina beaches, or no, Virginia Beach. Virginia Beach, that's where we went. That was cool. But yeah, what was I gonna say? I kind of forgot. I don't know. I'm out. No, just kidding. Darn it. My thought process just went. That's all right. Anyway, if you guys have got questions, you guys want to do an AMA, you hit me up. Let me know. We'll talk. We'll chat. If you guys haven't checked out my new training course, at least just go visit the page. Just go give it some clicks or something. I don't earn any money just for you guys clicking on it and viewing it, but I'd like to see the people just checking it out at least. Is Linux easier to learn on iOS or Windows? I wouldn't try to learn Linux on iOS. Are you referring to Mac? Because the cool thing about Macs are their terminal is again very very similar to Linux terminals because they're both built off of Unix essentially, right? Um, but yeah, they're I would say it doesn't really matter whether you're going to virtualize Linux on a Windows machine or a Mac. It's not going to make that big of a difference. It might be a little bit easier learning on a Mac and virtualizing it just because you can kind of go back between the two terminals. So if you have like a virtual Linux distribution and then you have your Mac terminal and you're going through both of them, you can kind of see what works, what doesn't, how they correlate with each other. Um, I found that kind of easy to do personally. Like with my Mac, I'm running VirtualBox on my Mac. I think I only have like one or two distributions of Linux on there, just for playing around with. But I'll kind of go back and forth and see how things look, line up if the same commands and the terminals work, things like that. Just see how things spit out differently within their terminals. Let's see. What are my views on obtaining AWS certs? I think AWS certs are fantastic. I think any cloud platform certification that you can obtain is going to be greatly helpful for you. Excuse me, greatly helpful for you, no matter the journey that you're looking to go down. Even if that's like one of the fundamental cloud certifications, even like Cloud Plus or isn't there like I think Azure Fundamentals or something like that certification, even something like that. Just having a good grasp on what the cloud is, what it does, how it works, operates, things like that, going to be huge to help you down your career. Oh my God, UKK! You just got a Raspberry Pi and used it to install Raspberry and Pi hole running. Good way to learn Linux. Absolutely. I think Raspberry Pis are an amazing way to start your kind of process into Linux. It's a really cheap. Um, I don't know if I had one here close. Yeah, I do. This one's obviously a little bit more expensive because it's a all touch screen. But you can get little it's just like this size right here, right? It's just that size. But it's a Raspberry Pi. It runs Linux. You can plug it into a monitor. You can plug keyboard and mouse into it. And it's just like a little standalone computer, right? It's a perfect way to learn Linux. So I haven't been in an environment that has used Docker in production yet. I have used Docker personally so that I could personally learn and understand what Docker is. I plan on making a video on that. It just hasn't come around yet. I have most of that video kind of written out on what I need to do, but I think Docker is amazing. Docker is fantastic, I think, for many reasons, but primarily because you're able to virtualize kind of, you're like standalone applications for different instances of things. Um, the whole theory or the whole concept behind um, Docker containers is it really amazes me, right? Because first we started like virtualizing different operating systems, right? To handle different products or different services, different applications, you would have to, sometimes virtualize multiple different operating systems, and some of those operating systems would have different dependencies on them. So you might have like a Windows server that is running an older version of .NET to support a specific application, and then you might have to virtualize another Windows operating system to support a newer version of .NET for a different application, right? Well, Docker makes it easier because essentially you're creating you have maybe one virtual machine that's a Windows virtual machine, right? And within that Windows virtual machine, you have Docker installed or any type of container system, and within each different container, you can have the different dependencies running within it to help support whatever application. And that's probably not the best explanation in the entire world, but that's generalizing it, I think, pretty well. So instead of virtualizing multiple operating systems to support multiple applications, you can spin up one virtual machine, install Docker, and then have different containers that have your different dependencies for these different applications and things like that. I think I summed up Docker and containers pretty well there. I don't know, maybe not. Maybe somebody else could explain it better. But the whole concept behind it is amazing. What certifications do I have already? I just got my Security Plus. When does my course start? My course is ready to go. It's all up and running. It's out there. You can go to www.itcq.tv. It's up. It's running. Let's see. Reading comments here, guys. Sorry. All right, cool. Yeah, so that was Doctor, I think, explained. I think it's really cool. What is your on covers? What? Anyway, I'll have a video put together on containers. I think that would be fun. What is on your course? The course is called How to Get an Entry-Level Job in IT. Basically walks you through chapter by chapter the steps that you need to take to become basically prepared for an entry-level role. I answer, I think, so many different questions that I get all the time, and I just compiled everything into one course that really just helps you get an advantage to getting your first IT job, because a lot of people have trouble getting their first IT job, and I really wanted to kind of break it down for people so that they weren't intimidated by it, they weren't scared of it, because IT is for everybody. Anybody can work in IT if they kind of put in the work, just like any other career that's out there. You have to put in the work, you have to put in the time, and I wanted something that for people to go to have a resource that really just lays out what they need to do. You know, how does this whole process work? Because the great thing about IT that's different from many other careers is there's no set in stone path to get into the field. There's no right way. I'm sure there's probably a lot of wrong ways, but for the sake of me talking right now, there's essentially no wrong way, right? Everybody's path into IT is different, and that's what I kind of talk about in that training course. Also, is how I break things down, and whatever your history is, whatever your past experiences are, excuse me, there's a path for you. There's a way to do it, and there's always a way to get an advantage to getting an IT job, whether you have no experience, whether you have no certifications, whether you have no degrees. There's things that you could do to make sure that you are going to be noticed and you get called in for an interview. You get that opportunity. So that's kind of what that's about. Is there a Linux certification? There's a few Linux certifications. There's CompTIA's Linux Plus. There's LPI Linux Essentials. There's Red Hat certification. There's a couple different Linux certifications. Steve-O9043, what would I suggest to learn first, Python or Linux? Would learning one before the other benefit in either way? That's a great question. That's honestly a really, really good question. And I'm still going to have to lean towards Linux, and the reason for that is I'm assuming you're already familiar with either the Mac OS or Windows operating system. Getting familiar with Linux greatly going to help you, right, and just your overall journey. But once you learn Linux, tackling on Python after the fact, like then going into Python, well, Python is cross-platform. You can use Python on Mac, you can use Python on Windows, you can use Python on Linux. So as you're trying to, figure out what you want to do with Python, I think you'll find it kind of easy and a lot better to learn Python specifically, once you kind of have a better understanding of multiple operating systems and how they function, how they work, where things are located and things like that. So that's kind of what I would do. But if you're looking to go down a path that, maybe you're just looking to be like a Windows system administrator, then learning Python right now would be fine. I could definitely see benefits out of that as well. But again, that you just have to kind of keep in mind that I think Linux is just going to blow up even more than what it is right now. But that's me, and I've stated earlier in the stream that we've heard that for a long time. So we'll see what happens. Thank you, Allie, for posting the link to the quiz. If you guys are interested in taking the quiz on which entry-level certification is right for you, make sure you guys check out that link that Allie posted in the chat. And a huge shout out to Allie. I want to thank her during this live stream right now, personally, almost personally. But thank you, Allie, for all the help that you provided with the training course. Your work has been phenomenal. You're the best. Love you. John, you just got your associate's degree in A+. What do you think of remote IT work? I think remote IT work is for some people, and for some people, it's just not. It's not the best. Me personally, I'm sick of working from home. I really am. It sucks sometimes. But remote IT work is fine if you think you can do it. Creative Girl, WHM, pretty much answered your question right there. And Creative Girl, I didn't answer your question yesterday. Any books for learning hacking, cybersecurity, or YouTube channels, websites, especially books? Thank you. Books for learning cybersecurity, I would just hop on Amazon. I'm sure you could just look up either cybersecurity or, depending on the path that you really want to take within security, pen testing. I'm sure there's a few books out there. I don't know any offhand. But YouTube channels, I would check out Hackersploit. That dude's awesome. You could check out, who else is there? Nullbyte. Nullbyte is a good one. Those would be like my top resources right there. And then, of course, Cybrary. Cybrary has a ton of courses over there to help you get into security. Mr. Sharma, when I first ever got into IT, was there a moment when you were nervous about any technology at your work that were given to work on? Were there any anxious moments? I think, quite honestly, any time that I changed jobs, so I started working for a new place, there was always nerves. There was always anxiety of not knowing something, right? Always. Oh, what's up? Red on in Twitch. Just play in Twitch. The guy says, or girl, I don't know, says play CTFs. CTFs are great. And I was not throwing up gang signs. It's a heart, guys. It's a heart. There's no gang signs. That's not a gang sign. Not throwing up gang signs. Sorry. But anyway, yeah. Anytime starting a job, there's always so many different nerves and anxiety. And then anytime new technologies do come on board that we have to vet out or anything like that, there's always some types of nerves involved on what that process is going to look like. I would say luckily I had an amazing team that I've always worked with. Like, no matter I think the job that I've had, I've always had a really good and supportive team that I don't think they ever made me feel that too anxious or too nervous about anything. I think we were all kind of a little bit anxious or nervous, but we all worked together and accomplished whatever it is that we needed to do. So, yeah, I wouldn't necessarily say that there's it was a ton of that, a little bit of the nerves, but that's normal. Like, all that's just completely normal. And I'm trying to catch up with the chat here. What's going on, Megalodon? Oh, Allie answered your question right there. Check out her channel. Oh my God, UKK Cyber is what you use to pass the CISSP. That's awesome. WHM, you're at a Fortune 100 company and you just started adopting Enterprise Ubuntu and Mac. Going to let your new employees choose between all three OSs. Definitely in demand for supporting Mac and Linux at Help Desk. That's awesome. It's good to see that. You know, like I said, I think it's going to only get bigger. And I wish this camera wasn't like all up in my grill like this. It's driving me nuts. All in my face. Sorry, I'm playing with this. Don't get too dizzy. Megalodon, plug in the Discord. Yeah, if you guys are in this live chat, check out our Discord server. There's a link in the description below. There's people there almost always answering questions, helping you out, just there to chat. I've really been trying very, very hard to be more active in the Discord server. I've been doing a little bit better job of it, I would say. But definitely check out the Discord server. Hello, Jack Eller. That's what's up. You guys are what's up today. So yeah, we talked about Linux. We talked about the cloud. We talked about Docker. What else is up? What's going on, guys? What is going on today? I wonder if this. I'm gonna see if this Kali machine I got will spin up. It's been a long time since I booted up a Kali server. Radon 707. Can you tell you something about blockchain tech market? What do you want to know specifically? Blockchain is like exploding. The technologies behind that, and that's stuff that I even have to look into more because I'm not 100% familiar with all that. I could probably get an expert in here to talk more about blockchain, but that's just a technology that's just evolving and getting more and more popular as well. So that'd be a great idea for a new video. I should send myself like a email on that. Sending myself emails, the best way for me to take notes and stay on track. Do a video on blockchain. So we have a new video coming out today, later on today. I don't know when I'm going to post it, but it's I gotta find it. I got wicked bad heartburn. Like, how wide is world? Is it worldwide? Blockchain? Yeah, it's. I mean, it's kind of going everywhere. What's this root? Oh yeah. Trying to find this video. I'll give you guys early access to it, maybe. Gerardo, you're currently studying for Security Plus, and you're so far learning a lot of stuff due to Cybrary and some other cybersecurity peeps that I follow. That's awesome, bro. Good luck on your Security Plus. Kev runs on Duncan. There are people on that server to answer your questions pretty much 24/7 from all around the world. You're absolutely right. What do I think of AWS and the demand for that? I think AWS is huge. AWS is the largest cloud provider that's out there. So think about that for a second, because you have competitors like Microsoft Azure, you have Google Cloud Platform. Microsoft and Google are by no means small companies, but AWS just crushes them. So I think AWS is definitely a safe bet. Creative Girl, is it safe to learn hacking at all? And you mean you're afraid to even Google that what's legal, what's not? So, Creative Girl, if you're looking to be an ethical hacker, you're looking at that aspect of it. There are ways to understand the legalities of it. I would definitely suggest going through Cybrary's content, because they kind of break a lot of that information down for you, so you can understand like what's appropriate, what's not. Because a lot of times when somebody says, I want to be a hacker, I want to learn hacking, well, that's such a broad term nowadays, and it almost means nothing in a lot of ways. because there's a whole process behind hacking. There's so many different ways to do it. There's so many different things that are right and are wrong. And you really have to take the time to understand what it is that you're doing before you can even say that you want to learn hacking, right? There's so many fundamentals that you need to learn. There's a whole big process around that. Kev Runs on Duncan kind of answered that also. Was it Skylines 92? Could I do a video requirements on DevOps, as in skills, certs? No, I can do a video on DevOps. I can do that. Soul in Unison. What is an acceptable starting wage for an entry-level help desk support person? Well, so Soul Unison. It depends on your area. Depends on where you live, and that also depends just on that organization as well, because so many different organizations will pay help desk salaries at a very crap level. So I can't exactly tell you what an acceptable wage is for an entry-level position because I don't know where you live. I also don't know like the businesses around you or businesses around whatever business you're applying for and how much they generally pay. But I would say never take less than $15 an hour. Pretty much nowhere, wherever you're at in the world, or not world, wherever you're at in the United States, do not take less than $15 an hour. Oh man, this thing is like tweaking out. Go over there. There we go. I think $15 an hour is very reasonable. So I don't know why the camera is so zoomed in. I wonder if I could zoom it out more. It's honestly driving me nuts. Oh yeah, a little bit. Perfect. Cool. Ew, Callie. What's wrong with Callie? Devontae, there's a link in the description of this video for the Discord server, so I would definitely check that out. Script kitties, script kitties. I should do an entire video on script kitties. That'd be a great video. I'd probably get attacked by a bunch of script kitties though, so I should watch what I say. Michael Morales, you live in Texas and it's hard to get an entry-level job. Literally hundreds of people will apply to the same job. Yep, that's why I say apply to everything. Anything that you can find, just start applying for it. Yeah, hacking is not as sexy as people think. Definitely lots and lots of trial and error for sure. Definitely on point, WHM. Mr. DeBoga, for a sysadmin or sysengineer job, do you think it's a must to learn SQL? What certifications do you recommend for sysadmin career path? There's a lot of I think there's a lot of reasons to learn SQL, and I don't think SQL is by all means that difficult to learn. Although I guess I learned SQL many moons ago, but I think there's a lot of room where I could say, yes, you should learn SQL. However, it really depends on the environments that you're getting into. Sometimes like your applications team might handle more of SQL related issues. Sometimes you might have to handle them, but I don't think it's necessarily that difficult to learn. So if you're looking to become a sysadmin or a sysengineer, any of the Microsoft certifications, so any of the MCSAs or MCSEs, more specifically the MCSEs as you're looking more towards the administrator or engineer level, all of those certifications are going to be extremely helpful for you. And I can't list each one because offhand it'd just be impossible for me to list each MCSA and MCSE certification, but there's a ton out there. There's even MCSA for SQL or MCSD for SQL, whatever. There's SQL certifications. Thank you, Cesar Hernandez. I greatly appreciate that. Love the super chats. If you have a question, Cesar, let me know so I can make sure I answer you. Priority status, yo. Steve-O, you just accepted a new job today after 10 years at a company. Nervous but excited at the same time. Well, good luck and congratulations. That's awesome. You'll be fine. Lone Star LS, being a script kitty is so Yahoo chat aim days. Oh, man. Uh, isn't script kiddies like back in the AOL days even? Like pulling up like virtual basic scripts and flooding chat rooms and crap like that. Those are like script kiddies to me. Like all those guys who busted out virtual basic and copied somebody else's source code and went to town and in AOL chats. Oh, those are the days. That was literally like 20 years ago, guys. That's so sad. I'm so old. Stay pumped. What's going on with Linux? You've just joined. Linux is everywhere. That's what's up. That's what's up with Linux. You can't get away from Linux. You can't hide from it. Everything is running Linux. And the moral of this story is learn Linux and check out Dwan Lightfoot's channel because he's going through a Linux journey right now. And I love that dude. Dwan Lightfoot gets me pumped up every single day. I talk to that guy every day. I think I have a chat from him today. Let's see. Yep, we were talking today. He was getting me pumped up today. Love that guy. I love Dwan Lightfoot. Anyway, Nick Salvador, Linux is very cool. I love the penguin that you put in there. That's awesome. I didn't know that there was a little emoji for that. That's legit. You took a class on security in Linux. You're glad you learned about it. I recommend all computer folks try it out. Maybe even switch to it as your main OS. For sure. Michael Morales, you have a few Microsoft certs and a Linux Essentials cert. Not sure what kind of job that would be good for exactly. Well, Michael Morales, what do you want to do exactly? Yeah, all those booters, man. Man, I remember the AOL days so well. Not not really. I wish I could forget some of those days. Soul Unison, following up. You live in Orlando. From what I know and or remember, Florida sucks. That's about all I could say about Florida, is that it sucks. So I don't know if you go in Orlando, you might find a little bit better pay, but I know like the cost of living is less down there in Florida, so you ultimately end up learning less most of the time. Florida, my mom lives in Florida, and I keep telling her to move back to get the heck out of that state, but whatever, Florida. Joseph Flores, thank you for the super chat, bro. I appreciate that. That's what's up. If you got a question, you let me know. Caesar, I don't know if you asked a question or not after your super chat, but if you got a question, bro, you hit me up. Linux is the future, for sure. Dwan Lightfoot, what's up, bro? I was just talking about you. Your ears must have been ringing, bro. I was just telling people that I was talking to you today. I said, Dwan Lightfoot gets me pumped up every single day. Joseph Flores, thank you, boss, for the chat, super chat, and then saying dropping some nice gems. Caesar, oh, thank you, bro. Keep up the good work. I love your channel. Currently working on your Net Plus and Security Plus. Any studying tips, dude? Thank you for the super chat first of all. But the best tip that I think I can give for studying for certifications that personally worked for me is going over practice exams. I found like as many practice exams as I could find, and took a few of the questions through them. CertMaster practice though was phenomenal for me. I know a lot of people can't afford CertMaster practice, but that made the world a difference for me. It's ultimately just like practice questions, practice exam. So there are tons of different practice questions and exams out there for the Net Plus, the Security Plus. Definitely check those out. That would be my best answer for you. For the Net Plus specifically, I would try to do any hands-on labs that you can. That would greatly help. And take notes, man. Take notes, take notes, take notes. Anything that you feel uncomfortable with, take a note on it. Write it down. Write down exactly what it is that you're having an issue with. Write down basically the answer to that, issue, refer back to those notes as often as possible. I don't know where my notes are currently. I think they're over there somewhere. But my Security Plus notes, I literally sat down a half hour before the Security Plus the last time. I got to the testing center about 45 minutes or so before my actual exam, so I could bring my notebook in and study. I think that made a huge difference for me also. Nick Salvador, you're originally from Chicago. Chi-Town represent. What's up? Chi-Town. Chi-Town all day. Thank you for stopping by, Dwan. I appreciate you, bro. You're the best. Michael, you didn't get it. You did get an interview for PC Tech at a local hospital in your area, but you didn't get to follow up. Screwed up your interview. The great things about interviews, and like this is like I should do a video on this also. God, you guys are like helping me out with creating videos and stuff today. Anytime you go through an interview process and you don't get the job, like that's okay, right? You have to understand that you're not going to get every single job that you interview for. You always have to find ways to take away information from the interviews that you just completely bomb. Like, go over that whole scenario in your head as much as you can and understand where you went wrong, maybe. And ultimately, though, like, honestly, I have to kind of go back to this. Like, you could probably absolutely nail an interview. You could just ace it, right? And at the end of the day, there might be somebody out there who just aced it a little bit better than you, or has a little bit more qualifications than you, or just their personality is a fit for their culture, and maybe you weren't. And that's okay. Like, that's just part of the whole process. But the more that you interview and the more that you fail, the more that you should be learning. So just use interviews as a learning process. D. Schminky. Cert Master is amazing. You're going through it right now. Very helpful for the Net Plus. That's awesome. I was a huge fan of Cert Master, and it's not because CompTIA is one of my sponsors. Like, I could tell you, 100% honesty, Cert Master practice was a huge help for me in my Security Plus. And that's a no way is CompTIA paying me to say that right now. Sweet Poodle. Which one is more sought, CompTIA Linux Plus or LPI Linux Essentials? And why? Well, here. Let's do this. There we go. Let's look up Indeed.com. Move this over here. There we go. Let's look up, what are we looking at? LPI Linux. We can try that. So, not a lot there. What do we got? 33 full-time jobs total. If I do LPI Linux Essentials, we got 5 full-time. Let's look up Linux Essentials. This might draw more, but that doesn't mean that it's specifically relating to the Linux Essentials exam. So if you look up Linux Plus, well, that still might be pulling just Linux results. CompTIA Linux. That is something that I would more fall on. So if you, based off our search results, right, it looks, and Indeed's a little bit skewed on their results, I think, based on your search criteria. It looks as though Linux Plus gets more search results. But, which is more sought after? I still would say probably CompTIA's Linux Plus over the LPI Linux Essentials. I don't see a lot of people requesting that, quite honestly, where it's so easy for people to include the CompTIA certifications in their requirements. So there's that. D. Schminky, if you get Linux Plus, you also get LPI. That's not true anymore because the new Linux Plus, it's no longer associated with LPI. Steve-O, what western suburb are you at, bro? I would love to get out of Illinois too. Don't get me wrong. Do LPIC instead of Linux Essentials? Okay. LPIC. Yeah, there's nothing there, bro. It's what, 43 full-time jobs that are possibly looking for that? Nick Salvador, you're on the north side. LPIC-1, yes. That's a good one. Nothing, bro. Nothing. Is Cert Master Learn worth it? Cert Master Learn can definitely be worth it for you. The thing is, like, guys, quite honestly, there's so many different learning providers out there, and one of the things that you have to do is find what works best for you. I've done a couple reviews on Cert Master Learn. You can go check it out. You kind of see what the platform looks like before getting into it. But the great thing about a lot of the learning providers out there is they offer free trials. I would highly suggest utilizing every single free trial that you can to find out which platform is going to work best for you. That's like the best advice I could possibly give you guys. Because you're going to find that maybe an instructor at one of these learning providers, just it fits you better than another one, right? Like there's so many different variables thrown in here. So utilize their free trials and see which one you like the best. Steve-O, you live in Carroll Stream. Oh, man. And you accepted a job in Schaumburg. That's cool. Yeah, Schaumburg is a decent area if you like to hang around with rich people all the time. Just saying. Schaumburg's cool, though. We just went to the mall there like a few months ago. Anyways. I think we answered a ton of questions in today's live stream, so if you guys have anything else, let me know right now. Otherwise, I'm going to have to peace out on y'all and get some more work done. I'm currently working on the next training course. And this one I was excited for the current training course that we're doing, or that I did, but I'm even more excited for this next training course that we're doing because it's really going to help lay down so many fundamentals of IT. I don't want to give away too many details right now until I have some of it already put together. But yeah, I'm excited for this one. If you guys don't know, talked about it already a few times. I'll put the link in the chat. www.itcq.tv, and if you use the coupon code ITCQ50, it'll save you 50% off of that course price. The course is going to be great for you guys if you're trying to get into IT. If you are having trouble getting in IT and you're trying to figure out how you can get an advantage and get noticed, get interviewed, this course is going to be perfect for you. So make sure you guys go check it out. Trinity Sky, you're a freshman in college. Can you still learn Linux? Everybody can learn Linux. Doesn't matter how young you are, how old you are. Even if you're a complete beginner, you can learn Linux. Cesar Hernandez, you have to get back to work. Have a great day. Thank you, bro, for the super chat. I greatly appreciate that, man. You've been awesome today. Make sure you join the Discord, Caesar. Yes, even if you're a complete beginner, you can absolutely 100% learn Linux. Do it up. Anyways, that's about all I got for you guys today. Make sure you check out the training course. We're going to have a new video launched later today. I actually was going to link to that video, and I forgot about it, and now I just remembered. Let's link to this video. I'm gonna do you guys a solid for being in this live stream, because I like you guys and girls. This video is going to be live later on today. I think it's going to be an amazing video. How long to get IT certified? How long does it take to get an IT certification? I get asked that question all the time. Zach, how long is it going to take me to get my A+? Zach, how long is it going to take me to get my CCNA? Well, in this video, I answer those questions for you. So make sure you check it out. If not, stay tuned later on today when we will launch that video live. Not live, but whatever. You know what I mean. Nick Salvador says if you're interested in learning Linux, he absolutely recommends the channel Luke Smith. Let's do this. Let's do you a solid. Luke Smith, you say? Is that right? Let me go back to the chat. Luke Smith, yeah. All right, cool. And here is Luke Smith's YouTube. Just check that link is not available on the live stream replay. What? Awesome, Caesar. Thank you for joining the Discord, bro. Luke is hands down the best Linux YouTuber. Well, I pasted the link to Luke's channel. So if you guys are interested in Linux, check this guy out. Here's this dude. Let's do this. That one. Here we go. Luke Smith. He's got some Linux videos. He's got a bunch of other videos too. There you go. Check out that dude. Thank you guys for joining the live stream. As always, oh my goodness, my Elgato streaming thing is jacked up. I gotcha. Awesome. All right, guys. Take it easy. Have a great day. Keep learning stuff, and that's all I got. Love you guys. Thank you for everything. Peace.